everyone. My name is Belinda Weaver. My business is Copyright Matters, and today I want to share some copywriting tips with you. In fact, I share copywriting tips every single week. Now, this is actually a scheduled live, and I couldn't figure out how to get started. So hopefully, if you click the Get Reminder button, you'll still find that here. So one of the things I often hear from business owners who need to write their own copy is they talk to me, I say, my name's Belinda, I'm a copywriter. And they're like, oh, I wish I could write copy. I wish I could write copy like a copywriter. I really enjoy writing, but I'm no good at it. I find it very difficult. It takes me too long. It's never any good. Let me know if any of those things resonate with you. It's really easy to not get started when it comes to things that we've got a bit of conflict about. So I know a lot of business owners who really do have to write their own copy because it's simply not feasible to outsource everything. It's not feasible in terms of the times they have available, and it's also not feasible in terms of outsourcing everything for budgetary reasons, right? So as a business owner, we might outsource to a specialist copywriter for things like the landing page for our next big launch, or a brand new email sequence that we want leading up to that launch and during that launch. These are kind of specialist projects that we want an expert on the case. But every day we write social media posts. Every day we need to reach out and write to our customers. And sometimes we need an email sequence that's maybe just 1 or 2 emails. And we don't want to make a big thing about it by hiring a copywriter. We want to do it ourselves because, many of the business owners I speak to, they quite enjoy writing. And all of the business owners that I work with as a copywriter are super passionate about their business. Passionate buzzword there, but they know their business inside and out. As a business owner, you really are the best person to write copy for your business. But there's this whole lot of hiccups and stumbling blocks that get in the way. Some of them I referred to. I'm no good at it. It takes too long, things like that. Let me know if they resonate with you. So today I wanted to share some different ways that you can rewrite this kind of destructive and negative narrative when it comes to writing copy for your business. And if you're an aspiring or a working copywriter, these will also help you get started. So the first tip I want to share is, well, at least the first big stumbling block that people often have is this idea that you have to wait until divine inspiration hits you, right? A good copywriter can write anytime, any day. It doesn't necessarily mean it's easy. It doesn't necessarily mean that first draft is great or even good, and I'm going to get to that. So you can't wait until you're inspired. One of the things you might like to do is get in the mood, right? One of the best ways to get in the mood to write about your business for a specific project you have in mind are the tips that I shared last week on how to prepare for a copywriting project. So as a business owner, it pays to sit down for 15 or 20 minutes. I tend to think in Pomodoro, so that would be 25 minutes, but just sit down and set a timer and go, right, what is it I need to write? What is the objective of this piece? What do I need it to do? Who am I writing to in terms of what is their problem right now and what do they need to know? And also, what is it I want them to do? 3 easy things that you can write down on a bit of paper to create your own brief. And this will pull you from kind of being in 100 different places all the time, which we are as business owners, into focusing on the specific piece of copy that you need to write in that moment. That is how you can go from not being inspired to write to being ready to write. Now, the next tip I want to share is a destructive habit that you think it needs to be perfect, right? Good copywriters are fantastic editors. No one writes a great first draft. So when you are talking to yourself about your copywriting skills, if you catch yourself saying, "Ugh, look what I've written, it's no good," you have to catch that and rewrite it. And remember, this is a lump of clay. When you get your thoughts on paper, it's a lump of clay that then you need to shape. And great copywriters are actually great editors, okay? So it does not have to be perfect. You have to let go of that. Practice makes progress, which is a great switch on that idea of practice makes perfect. But the more you write, the better your copy will get. And the more your tone of voice will evolve and you will learn to embrace it. So let go of this idea that every piece of copy that you write has to be perfect or that it will be super duper good on the first draft. Okay? Practice makes progress. The copy and your voice will evolve, and the more you write, the better you will get. So one thing copywriters do is they have this idea of this ugly first draft. You've probably heard of that before. And there's actually usually a few drafts before the ugly first draft. And one of the techniques I shared in last week's Facebook Live is, and it ties back to this idea of getting started. Okay, you don't start with the headline. You don't start with the first sentence. They're the most critical, some of the most critical pieces of your copy, and the blank page will just mock you if that's where you choose to begin. When you get started, after you've done your prep work, so that you get into the mood for what you need to write and you're really clear on what you need to write, then you need to start with the easy bits first. Good copywriting is also assembled. It doesn't just flow out of us in perfection. Start with the things you know. What I usually do is I write down what I do know. So a little bit of a loose bullet list structure. I put the call to action in because I know what that is, what it is that I want someone to do. And then I work backwards. And I guarantee that once you have some things on the page, copywriting gets easier. Blat some thoughts down. Start with the easy things first, then fill in the gaps. And then you have an ugly first draft. Then you can step away from it. Then you can come back to it and start filling in more gaps and smoothing out the bumps. But there will come a point where you think, all right, that's it. I'm done. Another thing copywriters have to learn is when to walk away. And there are a couple of things that you can do. You can work with an editor to help that editing process, like you've done a lot of the hard work in getting your thoughts down, or you can just hit publish and remember that your copywriting and your messaging and your skills will evolve the more practice you have. You will have fresh eyes on your copy in a few days' time or a few weeks' time, but you know what? Your social campaigns can't wait a few weeks while your fresh eyes come in. Your email campaigns can't wait a few weeks while you figure out if it's any good. Hit publish, embrace imperfection, and recognize that your copywriting skills and your tone of voice will evolve the more that you practice. So there's some ideas. I want to quickly recap on what I've covered today because I've kind of thrown a lot at you. Some negative conversations that people often have, business owners often have when it comes to writing their copy, is that I don't have time to do it because when I do it, it takes too long. And that I'm no good at it. I don't have the talent to write all those things. So some ways you can overcome that is to prepare. Create a little copywriting brief for yourself on what it is you're doing, who it's for, and what they need to do. Also, don't necessarily start at the beginning, right? Start with the things you know and the easy bits first, and then fill in the gaps. So that's number 2. Number 3 is let go of the idea that it needs to be perfect. Your tone of voice and your copywriting skills will evolve as you practice, and the more you write, the better you will get. Also, it doesn't have to be perfect. Work with an editor, or even better, let go of perfection in your copy. So these are some things that copywriters have to do in order to write professionally all the time. As a business owner, you can be your copywriter. You are the superstar of your business. You know it back to front. You can do this. So I hope the tips from today give you a few ways to get started and to keep writing. I hope so. This is a weekly copywriting series that shares tips, techniques, tricks, insider from a copywriter's point of view to help you write better copy for your business much, much faster. If you're an aspiring or a working copywriter, my copywriting masterclass is launching very, very soon. I'll put a link in the comments. But if you're a business owner and you want to learn to love writing copy for your business, I have something very special launching very soon called Everyday Copy. I'll put a link in the comments as well where you can sign up to get news and updates. But you know what? You can just tune in here. Every week I'm doing a Facebook Live on those tips and tricks to help you write better copy faster. If you have something you want to know about, pop it in the comments. I'm always looking for great ideas. So I hope you feel a little more confident about tackling your next copywriting project. I hope you have a fantastic week too, and I'll see you here next week.